This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm here at the Gasper Law Group. Since 2001, they have been providing experienced, high-quality, dedicated representation for individuals here in Colorado Springs and surrounding areas. I'm here with the senior partner. Thanks so much for joining us here today. You yourself, you've been really involved in this industry over a decade. Basically, a lot of high-profile cases you've found yourself in. You've served on as a judge for the teen courts. You yourself are a resident over 30 years here in Colorado Springs, where you call home. Share with me a little bit how it is you got involved in this type of industry.
Well, I was doing other things before. I went to law school later in life. Most people are right out of graduate school. They start in their 20s. I didn't start till I was in my 30s. Prior to that, I sang opera for a living for a while and then worked for a church here in Colorado Springs and then decided to go back to law school.
Excellent. When individuals out there find themselves in a legal situation, how important is it for them to find legal representation quickly so they understand what rights they do have?
I think it's very important. Most people don't understand the legal process, and what they do know has come from television programs, and they think it all works like that. You know, a crime is committed, the investigation's completed, the guy gets arrested, he gets an attorney, he's in trial, and there's a verdict all within an hour. And of course, that's not the way it works. Whether it's a small case or a larger case, I think it's very important for an individual to get an attorney who understands the legal process involved and can represent them in court.
The Gasper Law Group, they have been one of the top law firms here in Colorado Springs. At the end of the day, it really boils down to helping people first, and that is something that really is what you are known for.
Yeah, that's true. We built this law firm on a different principle. We treated it like a business. A lot of law firms don't do that, but we treat it like a business, and so we decided if we could offer the individual on the street a lower retainer and allow payment plans to work, then it would be beneficial to the individual, and over time would be beneficial to the law firm. So our logo of helping people first came from that principle.
Interesting. We see it all too often. Many times it is common for ordinary good people to make an error in judgment. One of those areas of that is DUI, a very serious offense, yet folks find themselves in that. Share with us how you're able to help folks there.
You know, individuals usually don't go out with the idea that I think I'm going to get intoxicated this evening and jump in a car and drive. They become impaired, which impairs their judgment. They don't realize that they shouldn't be driving, and they get behind the wheel. The next thing you know, they're pulled over, and that's a problem. It's a complicated issue in some respects because there's blood alcohol involved and how those blood alcohol is read, and then what the officer can and cannot do. And people who think, well, gee, I got in the car and I pulled over and I was asleep on the side of the road, I wasn't driving. Well, that's not the way the law works. So what we do here is analyze the case, have an opportunity to see if there are issues within the case that compromise the case for the prosecution, and then can we work that to the advantage of the individual to work out some arrangement where everybody's satisfied.
Like you mentioned before, obviously you get arrested for something like this. You want to quickly find representation, but why is it maybe not such a good idea to call your family lawyer and maybe call somebody who specializes in this particular issue?
You know, I've been a lawyer for quite some time now, and I don't know everything about the law in every area of practice. Routinely, though we have a family division here, routinely I'll get a call about a family case, and quite frankly, I have to refer them off to one of our family attorneys. Most areas of law are somewhat complicated, and you want to find someone that focuses on that particular area of expertise so that they understand what they're doing. Contacting the family lawyer might be the first step, a really good first step, to see if that individual knows somebody who focuses on in that area of practice.
I imagine this area is an area that basically if deadlines aren't met, rights aren't exercised, there's some harsh consequences that can await folks that go through the DUI process.
It's true. When it's over, it's over. If your deadline is blown and you miss filing something that you should have filed, a lot of times you don't get the chance to go have a redo. And so it's important that you have someone that understands what the deadlines are, what needs to be filed, and have it filed efficiently and on time.
Like you basically say, regardless of what case there is, it's important to know what is at stake. When it comes to DUI, we're talking about more than just driving privileges. Many times it can be actually your career is jeopardized.
Well, it can be. If your career involves driving and you don't have a driver's license for 9 months because it's suspended, that's significant. Also, there are other implications like the implication of insurance. What happens with your insurance cost over a longer period of time because you're arrested for or ended up getting convicted of a DUI? That has an impact financially long term.
Obviously, in a perfect world, everyone would get along, but obviously we have cases where there's family law, divorce, domestic violence. Are these all areas that you're able to help folks here?
Yeah, we are. We do handle domestic violence cases here. We also have a family floor that handles divorce cases, allocation of parental responsibility with children, who has the children legally in custody, how is that, how are the children shared between the couples. We do all of that here.
Divorce obviously is probably a place you don't want to navigate alone at that time. You've got a lot of different situations, being non-contested, contested, at fault, no fault. Are these all areas that legal representation can really help you when it comes to peace of mind at that time?
Absolutely. You know, divorce is an emotional case. And it's really about property and children. I mean, that's what it boils down to. And because it's so emotionally charged, a couple that's been together for a significant period of time who decide to separate ways, everybody is not always on the same page. And people will come in and say, well, we've talked and it's going to be an amicable divorce and everything will be fine. The real truth is when you get down to dividing property and deciding how you're going to deal with children, it gets very, very emotional. Generally, very good people, sometimes on their not so good behavior.
Interesting. When someone is actually arrested for, let's say, domestic violence, quite a bit at stake, and we're talking about more than your career sometimes. We're talking about even being separated from your loved ones and your children. Is this an area where folks can help here? Absolutely.
And I think it's important to get a lawyer to handle domestic violence cases. One thing that's important is domestic violence doesn't necessarily mean physical violence. So it's a term of art in the law. Domestic violence encompasses things like harassment, where a person is contacting them over and over and over again when they don't want the contact. Maybe some name calling is involved. Maybe discussing or disseminating information on the internet that could be considered harassing would also be classified as domestic violence. Because people don't understand the full extent of the definition of domestic violence, if they try to handle their own case, they make a lot of mistakes, and it's better to have a lawyer on board.
Interesting. Obviously, not all the cases involve error in judgment or disputes. Many times our lives can change in the blink of an eye, like that of an auto accident or even personal injury. Share with me what you have there as well.
Well, it's true. We have a division that handles civil cases, things like personal injury cases. You brought that up. An accident occurs, there's significant injury involved, an individual needs a lawyer, so that those deadlines don't get blown also. Those can be significant. If a case isn't filed in the right time period, then you may not have the opportunity to go back and fix it.
Many times you're not only going through the pain of possibly your body healing from an accident, but also the pain of just not knowing what this means for your life. And you're dealing with insurance companies, verbiage, and many times the least friendly, user-friendly type of conversations you can find yourself in.
Well, the lawyers for the insurance company have a duty to the insurance company, and that is, I would think, and I've not been a lawyer for an insurance company, but it is to pay the least amount that they can pay in order to make the settlement occur. And yet that may not be in the best interest of the individual. There might be long-term medical implications that a person's not thinking about. The bad back that seems to be okay today might be more damage than the individual thinks that it is, and after they've settled with the insurance company without legal representation, they find themselves stuck with additional medical bills in the future that weren't contemplated. And that's one reason I think why it's important to have a civil lawyer on board for that.
Absolutely. We've discussed a few of the common cases out there that people will find themselves in, but this is a full-service firm. We're talking about more serious cases like that of drug offenses, white-collar offenses, and also sex offenses. Are these all areas that folks can basically find some help through the doors here?
Absolutely. And you brought up sex offenses, and I think that's important. Because people tend to get their information from the internet. They go and begin to do a search, and then they start reading things, a lot of which is not true, quite frankly. But sex cases are important because many of these types of cases have significant long-term implications to the individuals. Drug offenses is another that creates problems. We're able to handle the full gamut of criminal cases here.
Excellent. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their contact information. You can take a look at their website. On the website are all the areas of service they provide. Great testimonials there as well. And also keep in mind they've got blogs as well as consultation forms right there that you can fill out, set it up, and provide a free consultation. The company itself has a long history of successfully serving people here in Colorado Springs, not only the public sector, but you're also proud to serve those that serve us, which is our military. Is that right?
That's correct. We get a lot of referrals from the military, and of course we do offer some military discounts. We believe that the individuals spend a lot of time, sometimes overseas, deployed, and we think that that needs to be rewarded. We're really pleased to help the military here in Colorado Springs.
Excellent. Like we had said before, it really boils down to helping people first. This is basically an industry where people don't have a lot of clear information about. Like you said, they get it from the movies or they get it from the internet, and it's basically nice to be able to sit down with a professional and explain to them what it is you offer.
We do that, and we don't, there's no pressure here. You know, we tell everybody when they come, you don't need to hire us today. If you need to check around with some other lawyers, we'll give you some referrals to let you go talk to those individuals. I think it's important when choosing a lawyer, not only to have an individual that you believe is knowledgeable, but someone that you can deal with, because you're going to be in the foxhole with them for quite some time.
Interesting. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their contact information. Once again, you can fill out a form right there on their website for a free consultation. And that is the company, the Gasper Law Group, since 2001. And you really have to get the question answered, do I have a case? It's probably very important for the future of your family as well as yourself. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm here at Joan M. Urich Massage Therapy. Since 2001, she has been helping you unfold your greatness and align to your highest potential. Joan, thanks so much for joining us today. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. You were raised in Colorado. You basically got your formal education right here in this town where you're serving, and in biology. You went on to basically get certified, if you will, through the, I believe it's the Healing Arts Institute. Share with me a little bit. I mean, we're talking, you began in 2001, but you've been doing this for quite a bit. How it is you got started?
Well, I was a biology major, and what I wanted to do was go into pre-med. And after reading a few books by Dr. Andrew Weil and Deepak Chopra, I realized that maybe Western medicine wasn't where I wanted to go. So then I thought about being a chiropractor. And as I was sitting in my biology class looking at the anatomy of a skeleton, I was like, any deviation within the body and the spine or the skeletal structure has nothing to do with the skeleton itself. It has to do with the soft tissues that are connected to it.
That is amazing. I mean, quite honestly, you basically have learned in depth about the body. I mean, you learned about the whole entire structure, not only from a formal education in the classroom, but you've actually been out of the country and worked with top athletes. Tell me a little bit about that.
So in 2002, I went to China and was able to work on the Chinese Olympic athletes while I was there to learn the Chinese massage techniques called Tuina. So yes.
Was that an enjoyable process for you to basically go learn? I mean, are the Easterners a little bit more in tune to the type of healing that you're working with?
Yes, yes. They look at the body as a whole rather than just symptoms and causes, and work with the body in a way that when I would work with a athlete there, their body feels way different than, like, say, Americans do. They're not dehydrated. The tonicity of their muscles are where they need to be. They take really good care of their body in a holistic, wholeness way, whereas here it's not so much.
Speaking of here, not so much, one of the main reasons people here go to massage is for pain management. We start feeling some pain, we want to rush in and get a massage. By knowing the whole entire body, are you able to really target in and really almost troubleshoot those areas and find out where the pain's coming from?
Yes. So I specifically focus on the structure of the body because basically any deviation in your structure will lead to pain. So if you're out, the joints will start to degenerate. Again, there's a lot of compensation patterns that could happen, and any pain could be related directly back to your posture and your correct alignment, whether you're deviated from it or not. So like migraines, sciatica, that is very easy to correct by readjusting muscles and getting them back to their correct tonicity.
How does postural realignment massage differ from that of chiropractic? Because it sounds very much the same from somebody who wouldn't know different.
Well, now chiropractors just focus on the skeletal structure, right? I'm focusing on the muscles that are pulling the skeletal structure out. Yes, and so I target specific muscle groups depending on what compensation patterns are going on, and I will reset that muscle to its correct anatomically position. Thereby allowing the skeletal structure to then go back into its own correct position because nothing's pulling it out.
Interesting. I mean, by actually working the symptom, if you will, are you able to get long-term results, even more so than other type of help out there?
So, yes. So, chiropractors to me are working the symptom, and I'm actually getting the cause of the problem.
Oh, interesting.
So, people can come in, they will notice a complete difference when they step off the table because I have changed the structure of their body, right? And it's yes, it takes a lot longer than a chiropractic adjustment because, chiropractors are just getting in there, adjusting the skeletal, but they're not focusing on the soft tissue. So one, you get up off the table completely different than when you came in, and then two, it corrects corrects or eliminates the pain, and it will last a lot longer because I am getting to the cause of it.
That is amazing. I mean, obviously, this type of help can alleviate almost anybody in any type of lifestyle, even more so for athletes, those that are looking for sports enhancement. Share with me some of the athletes that you've been able to work with and actually have not only helped their game maybe, but help them feel better off the field as well.
So yes, so I've worked on the Chinese Olympic athletes, but I've done some professional golf players, and so by putting them in the correct alignment, they can get behind the ball, and they can have more power and more focus and more they can hit farther, longer, and in the direction that they're wanting it to go.
So we're talking the body's working in peak performance. When you've got it working like this, does this really mean probably less injuries for them as well?
Yes. So
why is that?
Well, if your body is holding a specific compensation pattern from whatever repetitive motion, whatever injuries, that muscle isn't in the best position, and it's either contracted or overstretched, right? So if it's contracted, it may pull away from the bone, or if it's overstretched, same thing, the muscle could tear. So, yeah.
I mean, we're talking about going in there and fixing all that up. These are things that can happen to us over time. I mean, just gravity, just working environments. Many times, though, we're talking about a jolt to the system, an accident, a car accident. Are you able to really go in there and almost erase the memory from the muscle, if you will, and take care of that trauma?
Yes. So any trauma to the body can be erased. Anything that has been locked into muscle memory can also be erased.
That is amazing. Does it take, obviously depends on the type of injury, but does it take a longer time? Does sometimes people come in and actually get off the bed and feel something right away?
Most people will feel something right away.
Wow, that is amazing. That's got to be kind of rewarding for you to see taking people out of pain like that.
Yes. And then just the severity of the trauma or the accident, what happens is that will just depend on how long you're pain free, because we need to go back in there and erase, like the muscle memory can come back. And so what I'm trying to do is get to the muscle memory and then unlock it and then eventually completely erase it. So it's not like you have to come in on a regular basis to see me for the rest of your life.
Interesting.
You just come in, and each session your pain will be eliminated longer and longer, so that you can spread out the massages, and then finally you won't need to see me at all.
It's like a habit. You're basically retraining these muscles to do what they should have been doing in the first place. Wonderful. I imagine one of the times when a body is going through quite a bit, especially during a short period of time, would that be during pregnancy? Tell me, is prenatal massage something that you've helped folks with?
Yes. So I have a prenatal table so that the mom, or soon-to-be mom, could lay face down. Prenatal massages, if you get them within, if you get at least six before term, your pain during labor will be diminished by 75%. And then also your labor time, the amount of time that you're actually in labor, will also decrease about 50%. And so, yes, it's hugely beneficial for prenatal women. I do a treatment called Raindrop, and that's using 100% therapeutic grade essential oils. And the essential oils are all natural, right? And these have been around for centuries. Like, I mean, you know, and those were medicine. And what they are is, a lot of them are highly antimicrobial, so antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic. So by using them, you can clear your body of any pathogen that creates disease, and get your immune system bounced back up, so your immune system is working to the capacity that it can. Whereas antibiotics will totally decimate your own gut flora and kill your own immune system.
First of all, on the website, you can take a look at some of the services out there that she offers. We've touched on a few of them here. We're talking about complete massage, be it if you're an athlete out there that's putting your body through top performance, or possibly a woman, a mother-to-be. Great to come in and get some great support that way. You can also take a look at the testimonials online as well. And let me ask you this. One of the this is really a holistic approach to health that massage takes, not only supporting your body, but also your mind. Tell me about the Access Consciousness as well as Access Bars. How did you get involved in that?
Well, that was a technique that came to me in 2010, and it has completely changed how I respond to things. Like, it targets response type of things. So what it does is, every situation you've ever been in, everything you've ever experienced, right? You will have a judgment about it, a decision about it, or a conclusion about it. So then it becomes, right? And what happens is, it becomes locked into our brain in an electromagnetic wave. So then it keeps running, right? And then the easiest way I can explain it is, say you were a child and a dog jumped out at you and barked, and then now you have this fear of dogs, that anytime you see a dog, you're like, you know, stressed out, it scares you, you can never have a dog. It's like, oh, it's going to bite me. You get your bars run, and it will take that electromagnetic wave of that situation and neutralize it completely. So that after you get up off the table, you literally could go to a dog pound, or, you know, see a dog and not have that reaction.
Have you yourself experienced that? Is that what got you involved in it, where you went, wow, this amazed me?
Yes. Everything around, like, about my life has changed through the bars. Like, all my belief systems about money, all my belief systems about business, all of it has changed, so that I don't have the limitations that I used to function from. So it's totally changed my life.
Your way of kind of giving back, would you say, is in teaching others about this as well? And is that something you do?
Yes. So I am also a bars facilitator. So I do this in my practice as a practitioner, and had phenomenal results, but now I also teach it to people so that people can either do that for their families, their friends, and come to the trades. So it's a very phenomenal modality.
Wonderful. Obviously, it's an ongoing learning process for you. You're also educating folks that are on your bed. Has this been a rewarding occupation for you and something that you still enjoy?
Yes. I mean, it's almost been 20 years, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're talking about almost 20 years and still something that you're pretty passionate about when it comes to sharing with others.
Yes.
That is wonderful. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see her contact information again. We're talking about a phone call, and you can set up and schedule a either a consultation, or you can go set up a massage right away. We're talking about quite a few different services out there that she provides. We're talking about complete neck adjustments there that she can work with. We're talking about the full body massage, prenatal, as well as working with athletes. And also the access consciousness and access bars is something that she later learned on that has been very successful with you and something that you enjoy sharing with others as well as teaching. Once again, that is Joan Urich Massage Therapy, located here in Fort Collins, Colorado. This is Gary Atencia with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.